We go to classification of business or businesses. So here we're talking about different kinds of businesses that are set up within an economy. That's what classification of business is. So we have, let's just go down to page 51. Okay. Yeah, they said, yeah, we have three classification of businesses. We have the primary sector business, we have the secondary sector business, and the tertiary sector business. So we're talking about the primary sector business. We're talking about businesses that deals with extraction of raw materials from earth. These are businesses that deal with extraction. So we call them primary sector businesses. All they do is about natural resources. They deal with natural resources. For examples of businesses in the primary sectors, we have agriculture. When we talk about agriculture, it involves planting of crops, rearing of animals. So any business that does that is in the primary sector. We have fishing, which involves netting, trapping, trawling of fish, and anything that involves catching or gathering of seafood are considered as one of the primary sector business. Then we have forestry. When we talk about forestry, here please. We're talking about forestry. We're talking about managing forests to be able to get them available for the production or manufacturing of wood for furniture and the rest. Then we have mining and quarrying. For mining and quarrying, we're talking about extraction of raw materials from the ground, like oil, like mine, or like extraction of coal, extraction of copper. These are from the primary sector of the business. Then we go to secondary sector business. When we talk about secondary sector business, we're talking about industry itself, industrialization. So here, it involves manufacturing industries. Are you with me, please?
Yeah.
So when we talk about the secondary sector is involved in converting raw materials into finished or semi-finished goods. Secondary sector, yeah, it involves extraction or conversion of raw materials into finished goods. So for the secondary sector, whatever involves manufacturing, processing, and construction, they are all in the secondary sector. Then we go to this tertiary sector. For the tertiary sector, we're talking about provision of different kinds of services. That is the tertiary sector. So examples of businesses in the tertiary sector, we have the commercial services. When we talk about freight delivery, like the DHL and the rest, the debt collection, printing press, employment agencies. These are commercial services. Then we have the financial services. When we talk about financial services, we're talking about businesses that deals with finance, like the banks, like the insurance companies, like investment businesses or pension schemes. Then we have household services. When we talk about household services, we're talking about services that involves home, gatherings, the environment we have. So these are examples like plumbing, decorating, gardening, house maintenance. These are all considered as house services. Then we have professional services. Then we have leisure. For leisure, we're talking about tourism, television, hotels, and libraries. Then we have professional services like the accountants, the lawyers, legal advices, medical care. All these are professional services. Then the last one is about transportation. Transportation is also example of a tertiary service, tertiary activity or tertiary. It's part of the tertiary sector, which involves the taxi, airlines, public transportation. All these are tertiary services. They are clear, right?
Yeah.
Then we go to interdependence. Interdependence of different sectors. Most of the businesses that are available these days, both the primary sector would have something to do with the secondary sector, and the secondary sector would also rely. We're talking about the reliance in each sector. The primary sector will rely on the secondary sector to buy its raw materials. So if the secondary sectors are not buying the raw materials, then the primary sector won't be selling. So there won't be revenue for the primary sector. So the primary sector relies on the secondary sector to buy its raw materials. Then the secondary sector relies on the tertiary sector to sell its raw materials. So each sector rely on one another for its revenue. Is it clear? So for interdependence of different sectors, I'll just explain that. Most of the time, the primary sector will rely on the secondary sector for its transaction. The second sector will rely on the tertiary sector for its own transaction. So that's what interdependence means. Is it clear? Is it clear, please? Yeah. The last thing about here is changes in sectors. So over the years, things has changed. Like most reliance on or dependence on the private sector has changed. Like people start thinking about services, not the old days, like, oh, because most of the time, because now things has changed in terms of development. So technology has taken place. So with technological advancement, the way we organize, the way production is being set up has become different from those days. So that is what we're talking about, changes in the sector here. So countries that are reliant on the primary sector, like agriculture, mining, they start thinking about how to convert these raw materials into finished goods within their country. Countries that are in the secondary sector that rely mostly on manufacturing start thinking about how to turn those things, to those page around to become technologically effective. So technology has taken most of production system. So the main goal now is how to start using technology. So, and using technology means you are part of the service sector. That is what the point is saying here. So here I wrote, industrialization emerges in the 19th century due to industrial revolution. The secondary production expanded rapidly. However, there has been significant changes as tertiary sector increases operations at the expense of both the primary and secondary sector. So before now, it's always the primary and secondary sector. But these days, we're talking about technological advancement. So the tertiary sector has taken over from both the primary sector and the secondary sector. So for the secondary sector, the presence of the secondary sector is called industrialization. That means a non-industrialized economy is becoming industrialized because of producing goods. But these days, it has become deindustrialized. Why? Because there's decline in the manufacturing sector due to advancement in technology. Do you get the point here? Industrialization means a situation that a non-industrialized economy becomes industrialized. That means manufacturing industries start emerging in that economy. That is industrialization. But now that manufacturing is declining, we call it deindustrialization. So the tertiary sector is taking over the primary and secondary sector. So that's about chapter 7. Then we have the multiple choice question. The activity, you have to do it yourself, but we just answer the multiple choice question here. They said, gold mining in South Africa is an example of business activity in which sector? Primary sector, yes. Then which of the following business operates in the secondary sector? C, yes. The third one, which of the following countries has most likely seen the sharpest decline in employment in the primary sector in the last 50 years? No, it's USA. USA is now in the tertiary sector. Then the last one here, they said the table below shows the value of export in different industry sectors for a country. We have air transport. Air transport is the service sector. Education is in the service sector. Tertiary sector. Manufactured goods, these are the secondary sector. Oil is in the primary sector. That's extraction. Other services in the secondary sector, the tertiary sector. Processed food is in the secondary sector. Shipping is in the tertiary sector. The answer is B. And that's all about chapter 7. Go to chapter 8.